Hello, this is Amber Willenberg from the U of L Libraries, and in this video, we're going to talk about finding sources for your English 102 research paper. We'll be developing a search strategy for our research topic and using that strategy to find academic sources, statistics, magazines and newspapers, and visuals using the library and Google. Let's get started by developing a search strategy for our research question. The library is the best place to find academic sources specific to your field of study, but searching in the library is different than searching in Google. Take this research question: how does exercise affect the mental health of college students? If I wanted to find sources on Google about this topic, I could simply type my whole question into Google to get results. In library databases, though, we'll search using keywords, the most important words from our research question. In this case, exercise, mental health, and college students would be great keywords for my research question. We don't just want to stop there, though. It can be helpful to think about ways of broadening and narrowing this question with our keywords. For exercise, we could also add keywords like physical activity, working out, running, or weightlifting. For mental health, we might specify depression or anxiety. For college students, we might broaden out to young adults or narrow down to undergraduates or freshmen. Brainstorm as many broader and narrower keywords as you can. Having more keywords gives you more options for your search, so you don't get overwhelmed or stuck when you start searching. Now that we have a list of keywords to help us search in library databases, we need to think about subject areas. The library's databases are organized around academic subject areas, so you need to think about which subject areas might be relevant to your research question. Who is doing research on how exercise affects the mental health of college students? We might think of psychology, sports sciences, and education and add these to our list. Once you've developed your search strategy with your research question, keywords, and subject areas, you can begin using that strategy to find sources through the library. Let's get started on the library homepage, library.loewenfeldt.edu. This is the best place to get started finding academic articles because these types of sources are expensive and not freely available on Google. We'll get started by clicking Subject Guides on the left side of the page under Quick Tools. These subject guides divide up library databases by subject area, making it easier for you to find the most relevant resources for your research topic. Remember, one of the subject areas I identified for my research question was psychology, so we can click on the psychology subject guide and find a couple of the very best recommended databases where we can search for sources in the field of psychology. A database is simply a searchable collection of thousands of sources, most of them academic articles. Since you're all researching a wide variety of topics, I'm going to go ahead and click on the Any Topic Guide and click on the first recommended database listed here, EBSCO Academic Search Complete. EBSCO is a multidisciplinary database that covers a variety of subject areas, so most of you will be able to find sources for your research paper in this database, but feel free to search in subject-specific databases as well. In EBSCO Academic, one of the first things you'll notice is that there are multiple search boxes at the top of the page. This is why we developed our search strategy with a list of keywords. We'll enter one keyword per box. Let's try some searches. First, we'll put exercise in the first box, mental health in the second, and college students in the third. This search gave us almost 250 results. While this is not a lot compared to Google, it's a lot for a library database. But remember, we've already brainstormed several narrower keywords, so we can easily narrow down our search by replacing mental health with a narrower term, depression. We now have just over 140 results, about 100 fewer than before. While we need to look through the results to see if they appear to be what we're looking for, this is much more manageable than the number we had before. Just keep in mind that you will probably have to try out several searches with different combinations of your keywords to get the most relevant results. On the left side of the screen, you can see that our results include academic journal articles, as well as magazine and newspaper articles. Most of the articles in library databases will be academic journal articles, but newspapers and magazines are also acceptable sources for your research paper. At this point, you can begin looking through the articles to find sources that seem relevant to your research question. I'm going to go ahead and click on this article, Prescribed Exercise for the Treatment of Depression in a College Population. One thing to notice is the abstract. Always read the abstract because it will give you a quick overview of the whole article, helping you determine if it's useful for your research before you read the whole thing. Another helpful tool here is the Cite button. Click this to get the citation for the article, which you can copy and paste into your references. Just be sure to check over the citation and make sure everything is correct. If you decide you want to save this article to read later, there are a couple of options you can choose from. First, you can see if there is a PDF of the article available on the left side of the screen. If so, feel free to save that directly to your computer. Another option is to use the email tool on the right side of the screen to send yourself the article. If there is no PDF, you can click on Find It at U of L to see if we own the article or if you need to request a copy of it. When you click Find It, you'll either see a View Full Text link, which will take you to the article, or a button that says Request Item through Interlibrary Loan. If you just see that request button, it just means we don't own the article, but we will request a copy for you from another school. So just click that button and fill out the form to place a request, and we'll send you the PDF of the article, usually within a few days. The library is a great place to find academic articles, but you can also find some current news and magazines in the library as well. Back on the subject guides page, you can click News to find news databases. These are very similar to the database we just looked at, but they're full of news sources instead of academic articles. US Newsstream is a current news database with access to the Louisville Courier-Journal, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, Chicago Tribune, and much more. You'll use your keywords just like we did in EBSCO to find sources relevant to your topic. Once you've searched, you can limit to the most current years to view current news on your topic. You can also limit your source type specifically to newspapers to get rid of everything else. Outside of library databases, you can also find current news and magazine articles on Google. Simply type in your topic along with the publication you want to search to see if that newspaper or magazine has a relevant article. For example, I can type in Exercise and Mental Health of College Students, time.com, to see Time magazine articles relevant to my topic. News.google.com is also a great place to find a variety of current news sources on your topic. If you ever try to access a news or magazine article through Google and the website asks you to pay money for it, just talk to a librarian about getting the article for free. I'll tell you all the ways to get in contact with librarians at the end of this video. Google is also a great place to find statistics and demographics from government sources and other reputable sources. A quick trick for finding government sources about your topic is to type cite:.gov after your search. For example, I can search for Exercise and Mental Health, cite:.gov to find government websites related to my topic. To find statistics, simply type your topic followed by the word statistics. For example, exercise and mental health statistics. It's important to always check the credibility of unfamiliar sources you find on Google. Let's click on this website, apa.org. This website is the American Psychological Association, a source that I'm unfamiliar with. I can quickly find out more about this source by opening a new tab and Googling it. Wikipedia is a great place to find more information about a source. It will often tell you about the reputation of the source and if there are red flags you need to look out for. If you're ever unsure about the credibility of a source, you can always talk to a librarian. If you need visuals for your research paper, images.google.com is a great place to get started. When you find an image you're interested in using, follow the image to the source and make sure that the source is credible. This visual on the benefits of mental health from believeperform.com doesn't give me any sources for the information on the visual. while this infographic from Reebok cites sources and links out to research studies on the benefits of exercise for mental health. This video provides a broad overview of how to search for a variety of source types for your research, but everyone's research needs are different. Librarians are here to help you find the sources you're looking for and to navigate a wide world of information. To get in contact with us, just click Ask a Librarian on the library homepage, library.louisville.edu. You can chat with us Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, walk into our office on the first floor of Ekstrom Library Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, call us, or email us with questions. You can also schedule an in-person or online research appointment with a librarian to help with your research. Just click Meet with a Librarian and choose someone who has availability that matches yours, or limit by specialty on the left to find a librarian who specializes in your topic. Click Schedule Appointment and fill out the form to meet with a librarian. Thanks!